I'm Otis Gibbs, and this is the legendary road manager Phil Kaufman, also known as the Road Mangler Deluxe. He's worked with everyone from the Stones to Emmylou Harris to Frank Zappa. The word legend gets thrown around way too often, but Phil's one of the few people who's actually earned it. He's the man who stole Gram Parsons' body and burned it in the desert. Our story begins with Gram and Mangler attending the funeral of their dear friend and all-time great guitar player, Clarence White.
It was one of those big Catholic funerals in the cathedral with the Monsignor and the singing and all that. And Gram said to me, man, not for me, not my kind of death. He said, look, if I die, I want you to take my body out to Joshua Tree in the desert, have a few beers, have a few laughs, and cremate me. I said, it's a deal, pal. We shook on it. And I said, would you honor it as well? He said, I will. And you know, bigger than shit, several months later, he's out in the desert celebrating his new album, Grievous Angel. And I would have gone with him, but I was setting up the tour. I get a call about 3 or 4 in the morning saying that Gram is dead. I said, no, what? Gram is dead. Really? No, Gram is dead. I said, yeah, are you sure? He said, yeah, they're taking him away. The coroner's taking him away.
How did he die?
The usual rock and roll disease, drugs and alcohol.
So you get this terrible phone call, and when the shock wears off a little bit, do you think about the promise you made to him right off the bat?
Well, you know, at that moment, I hadn't thought of it. But my moment was to make sure that they were wrong. So I called them back and said, is he really dead? Did you try to revive him? Did you put the old road goody ice cubes up his ass to shock his body? They said, he's gone. The coroner's taking him away.
What's the ice cubes up the ass?
It's like a suppository. The ice cube shocks the system into get the heart going again.
Is this a sort of common knowledge for hardcore drug users?
Yes. Yes, it is, yeah. You take it out of the tray first. So I'm sitting at home playing shoulda. You ever play shoulda? I should have been there. I should not have let them alone. I should have made sure that everything. So my girlfriend says,
hey, shithead.
She couldn't even remember my name. She said, hey, shithead. She said, stop playing shoulda. Do it or shut the fuck up.
She knew about the pack.
Yeah, she was there. She was actually there when we did it. I called up Dale, who was with the girl with him, and by coincidence, she owned a hearse. And they used it for camping. It was hippy dippy dimes, but it was a black hearse. And I called her up, and she said, I know why you're calling. I said, well then, where are the keys? No matter what, I was going to steal a body.
And you were just making it up as you went along?
I made it up as I went along. And it just so happened that the hearse fell into the plan. Dale had the hearse, she had a boyfriend, almost like it was scripted. It worked perfectly. I called the funeral parlor, and they said the body had left, and it was on its way to LAX, Continental Airlines, cargo. At that time, it was no security. So we just drive up to the loading dock at Continental Airlines. The truck pulled up with Gram strapped securely on the back of a flatbed truck. I thought at least he'd go first class, but no, steerage. I went inside, I was signing the papers for Gram, and cop pulls up, and the hangar door stops, gets out of his car. Now I'm thinking, escape route, this is as far as I could take this, Gram. I tried. So I came out and he yelled at the cop. Hey, officer, can you give us a hand with this stiff? He goes, oh, they think that's very funny. The cop accommodated us and helped us put old Gram back in the hearse. And we've been drinking a bit. It hit the hangar door. Now, you know what an airplane hangar door is like. I mean, you could get an airplane in there. We couldn't get our tiny hearse house. It smacked into the door. The cop looks at us and he goes, before he said anything, I said, boy, we're in fucking trouble now. And he goes, ha, 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 and off we went.
So how did you decide where to burn Gram's body?
Blood alcohol decided exactly where we stopped. It reached the point where we could no longer drive without hurting ourselves. So we stopped at a place called Cap Rock, which has no significance other than that's as far as our alcoholic bodies would take us.
Do people try to claim their significance?
Yeah, they say Gram climbed Cap Rock. He would know Cap Rock from Cap shit. That's as far as we could go in the condition we're in.
How did 2 drunk men get a casket out of a hearse?
Well, the hearse has rollers. We rolled it all the way back so the casket was like that, and Michael drove forward and boom, hit the dirt, you know, with all apologies to Gram at the time, you know. Over to the casket, and I started opening. Michael's going, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I said, oh, you better say goodbye to Gram. So there's some unwritten law that casket hinges are never to be oiled. So when you open the hinge, it goes, and there he was. Surprise, hello, Gram. And then I poured the 5 gallons of gas in the casket, said goodbyes to Gram, and took a match, lit it, and threw it in. A big ball of flame is the oxygen, you know, the flame grabbed the oxygen. And you know that scene in The Lost Ark where the Nazis' faces melt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was real. Yeah, Michael and I would beat it back over to, over the hill and through the woods, not stopping at Grandma's house.
Did you just leave the body there?
But yeah, I mean, it was burning. The casket was burning. And, the next day, according to the papers, there was only brass and bones. It was the only thing they found. It was like the worst kept secret in LA. Everybody knew who did it. And so did they. So did the cops. So we ended up going to court, and they charged me with stealing a casket. They said the body had no intrinsic value.
Really?
Yeah. The judge said, you know, whatever the fine was, and probation for 1 year. And I asked her, I said, I mean, I can't steal a body for a year. And the judge said to my lawyer, get his ass out of here like court. Now.
Have you ever regretted it at all, or ever had mixed feelings about it?
No, not really. I used to say that it wasn't for drinking drugs and a dead guy, I wouldn't have had a career. Thank you, Gram.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Of course it's fucking nice. Jesus Christ.